Shout out to Rabbi Ari Ben Shushan. This morning, I was wasting my life on a status. Now, it turns out, retroactively, it wasn't a waste. But most of the time, I'm just wasting my time. Look at, going to, and so I'm going through the statuses. Usually it's like, join this WhatsApp group and win a Rolex. It's just like that same one of your, PZ deals or whatever. You won? Oh my God. Anyways, you're just rich. Anyway, so, like all these things, the same giveaway, getaway, thingamajig, buy a shaitel, Twillery. How do you know? Tell me you're on a Jewish WhatsApp without telling me you're on a Jewish WhatsApp. So it's like Yaakov Linger pops up. Anyway, so Ari Ben Shushan put up a video. And this was so amazing, this video. If you saw it before, back me up how amazing it was. The video was a guy filming himself in a parking lot. Anyone? Not yet. Filming himself in a parking lot. And he was showing how someone parked. And somebody parked in a way that wasn't the way that you're supposed to park. So there's different styles of bad parkers. And this particular bad parker it's like, space, 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 space. And these two spaces over here that are open, the person literally parked like this. So they parked diagonal, just it wasn't like you're over the line, And the guy, it was so amazing to watch this guy. He's like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. This is not a mistake. This is on purpose. Right? There are times you make a mistake, but this is like, he goes, well, open spot, I'm going to go and become the hypotenuse. And this is what he says. It's like, now some of you are like, have trauma because I said that word. And, others are telling me, watch my language, because, you grow up learning what that meant. But, Sokotoa, you start Sokotoing this thing. And the guy is so calm talking about it. He's like, look at this guy, how he's parking. You can't help but laugh. You can't even get angry because it is so off that it's just comical. And I'm watching this. And I'm thinking to myself, as the video started, it's like, look at this guy, how he parked. I was expecting it to be the type of videos that I would normally have seen and that I would have done. And that is, look at that, beep, can you beep? Can you beep? A lot of blurring of the mouth and, how dare he, selfish, self-centered, disgusting. A lot of that. But this guy, he starts and he goes, look at this guy. Can you believe this? It's like Mr. Rogers speaking about the bad parking. And then he said, now kids, put on your sweaters. And I was like, what is happening here? Okay, full stop. That's the video. And I'm thinking, wow, it really made an impression on me. There's some videos you watch, they don't impact you at all. This deeply made an impression on me because it totally shocked my system. I was expecting one thing, it ended up being something else. And this something else was so different that I was able to actually process it and think, I should also react like that. When I am in a situation where somebody behaves in a way which I think is totally wrong, I should also react like, you can't even get angry at this. Look at the hypotenuse. And for me, this became now in my head, the hypotenuse, right? It's called the hypotenuse situation. What's the hypotenuse situation? You're driving and someone cuts you off. Hypotenuse. As opposed to going crazy and how could you? And this is wrong of me, but one of my joys in life is watching people as they curse someone else out in their car with the windows closed. No one can hear you. You're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So instead of going crazy, just hypotenuse. That's it. Just hypotenuse. And it's just like, look at this guy cutting me off. Silly Billy. He must be in a rush. The other option is to go crazy. Now there is a known, okay, maybe it's not known. To me, it's known. I guess it's a self-esteem thing, so I have to say it's known because if I don't say that, then you'll say, oh, I know this. I'll be like, I know you know. So I have to start by telling you. It's known, but you might not know it. For those who don't know it, let's try to imagine the following scenario. I'm going to say a number, and if you know what it means, I want you to raise your hand. Don't say what it is, but if you know what it is, raise your hand. 86,000. Anyone yet? 400. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. I got to speak to your grandchildren. You know what it is? You heard Gramps over there? You heard Zadie? Okay. Just imagine for a moment, somebody gave you $86,400. By your reaction, I see that's not enough. Okay, how much do you need? Okay, somebody gives you $86,000, you're like, my butler has more than that. Okay, so now, somebody gives you $86,400, and you're holding the money, and someone runs by as you're holding it, grabs $10, and runs. What do you do? What do you do? Like that? You're like, I will now go after him. I am beginning to go after him. Okay, you'd run after him. And he's running. You keep running after him for $10. I think we just went to the opposite extreme. I see you need a lot more. Okay. Does anyone not run after him?
No. I would call him back and give him more and ask him.
Enough for you. What? You can't catch him. What do? You stop running. Would you then take the money and throw it in the garbage? No? But he took $10. So what's the rest of it worth? If he took $10, you may as well throw the rest out, no? Okay, Zadie. What's 86,400? No, you think something else? What is it? There are 86,400 seconds in every day. Some of you are going to do the math wrong and then say, you're wrong. To save you some time. 86,400 seconds. Imagine someone comes along. You come in, unless you don't want to. Whatever it is. There's no chairs next door. Grab a couple chairs, bring it in. Imagine someone comes and messes up 10 seconds of your day. Can anyone relate to the following scenario? I'm driving, someone takes my parking spot, they cut me off, they honk at me, they do whatever, and then I get frustrated, and then my frustration carries out, and I call up, I'm like, you're not going to believe this guy, and then I talk about it to my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, I call up my grandparents, I start going whatever, and then later at night, how's your day? Oh, it's okay, but that guy, can anyone relate to this? Have you ever seen that happen, yes or no? So we just had somebody who stole 10 seconds of your day, and you said, well, if he took 10 seconds, you may as well take the other 86,390 as well. It's crazy, right? It's a crazy concept. We may run after it for a little bit, eventually we can't get it back, forget about it. I lost the $10, it's over. So we lost the $10, I'm not gonna now give up the other 86,390, but I'm willing to if you take 10 seconds of my day, I wanna now throw the rest of my day. You all get it? It doesn't make any sense. So I would like to share with you today my chachma. I want to go into my wisdom. I'd like to discuss my supremacy. So this morning at 9:12, I see this video. And I'm literally blown away by this video. Blown away. Not literally, figuratively. Literally. Okay. I'm figuratively blown away. I felt myself blowing away figuratively because, as we discussed, I'm too heavy to blow away. So maybe after the running on Shabbos, Chatz v'Shalom, Hidabroot, and all exercise. But here's the deal. I'm like, wow. I leave a message for Rabbi Ben Shushan. I say, what a video. I'm blown away. I mean, the guy, the hypotenuse, the calm nature, the relaxation, and this guy's got to be from somewhere in middle. He's not on the coasts. This guy is chill. Okay, maybe this coast is chill, but I'm saying not this. There is only one coast, New York, and the other thing, he's not from that coast. I was like, wow, what a lesson. 9:14, boom. Anyone? Boom. No one? Okay. Anyway, 9:14, I get on the Jerusalem light rail. I travel in style. I get on the Rakevet Hakala. It's such a funny name. The light rail. It's like, when I go to the airport, I usually take the heavy rail. But I was on the light rail. And there's a medium rail. There's the Ozempic rail. Anyway, I was on the light rail. And when I get on the light rail, as I get on the light rail, I get on with someone else. It's not so relevant, but it is a little relevant. It's relevant enough, I'm going to share it with you. A religious-looking man. But what's religious anyway? A religious-looking man gets on with a religious-looking child with a stroller. Now, if anyone's ever been on the Jerusalem light rail, Rakevet Hakala, you'll know, especially the newer ones, are a bit tight. It's a bit narrow. They made them, the newer ones are a little more narrow, a little less seats. It's for your riding experience. So the guy gets on, and right when you're in the back, in the very, very back of the train, and when he gets on, so you come on, you beep, or you just steal, whatever. And then they turn, and there's the what do you call it? The aisle. Yeah, so you say aisle. And right when immediately there's two seats facing back, and he sits in one of the seats. Okay, he gets in the seat. And he puts the stroller in the aisle. And I was like, brah. It's not like it's a little bit in the way. He put up a sign, this section is now closed. Like, what are you doing? Like, okay, it can be tight, I get it. But right when you walk on, there's open space. Stand there on the side with the stroller. It's like standard protocol. But not for this fellow. He sits down and he wheels it into the thing. A woman gets on. I'm not saying it's relevant, but it's relevant enough that I want to share with you. But this woman, a non-religious woman, but what's religious anyway? She sits down across and she looks at the guy and says, "Asor lasot et zeh." Right? She was Ashkenazi. Sfardim would have said, Atur lasot et zeh. So she says, Asor lasot et zeh. So the guy doesn't say anything, and I'm facing him, because I went in, I'm standing against the wall, I'm facing him. He's sitting like right where you're sitting, a little shorter. He's right here. And here's the aisle, and there's the stroller, and there's the non-religious one, religious guy, religious kid, maybe. And the woman goes, Asor lasot et zeh. It's prohibited to do such. And the guy is like facing me, and I said, Ani maskim. I agree. He said, Kodem kol, first of all, mutar lasot et zeh. It's okay to do it. And second of all, be'etzlechem bekarov. For you in the future, you should also have children that block aisles. He didn't say that part. I'm like, be'etzlechem bekarov, what? Like, be'etzlechem bekarov, that I'll sit down and block the entire train because it's mutar? Like, bro, what? So let's do it in the speed up zone now. He comes on, sits down, blocks things. She goes, Asor lasot zeh. And I go, Ani maskim. Kodem kol mutar bekarov etzlechem. You know, you should also have lots of children and whatever it is. And the woman goes, Amen. That never happened. But and I'm like thinking, like, bro, you are off. Like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I'm like, so. And I said to him, Kol Talmid Chacham she'ein tochach kabo eino Talmid Chacham. Which means any scholar, great sage, who doesn't have their insides and their outsides aligned is not called a sage. You're not called a Talmid Chacham. A Talmid Chacham is known as a great Torah scholar. You're not a Torah scholar if you're not aligned. In other words, if on the outside you do one thing, but the inside you're something else, then you're not it. You're just an encyclopedia. You can know a lot of stuff. You can know a lot of information. There are a lot of people out there that know a lot of Torah. They know a lot of stuff. But they're just schwanznagels. They're just off their rock. There's something wrong with you, which, by the way, just means a tail in Yiddish. I know in slang it can mean something else, but I'm just going with the straight up translation. You're schwanznagel. What are you doing? You don't go ahead and sit in the aisle when people are coming through. And so I said out loud, I was like, Kol Tamachah, Gemara and Yuma. Everybody knows the Gemara and Yuma, except for him and everyone else. So I said, Kol Talmid Chacham she'ein Talmid Chacham Talmid Chacham. Any sage, because I'm judging him. I judged him that he's a sage. And I said, you're dressed, you look like you look the part. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he even heard me or he ignored me, but whatever. Then by the grace of the Lord, I felt the presence. Summoned to my right, so I moved over. But then it hit me. This is at 9:14. It's crazy. I just watched a video about Timmy from Wichita, Kansas, talking about the hypotenuse, thinking in my head, that's brilliant. That's the way we should deal with life. 2 minutes later, a guy parks across the aisle, and I felt myself starting to lose it. And it calmed down because whatever, not purposely, it just didn't make sense to go more. I saw the guy's not interested in whatever. And then it hit me like, whoa. I literally 2 minutes ago learned this lesson and I don't get it. The wise person is someone who learns from everything, but the most important is lo ha-medrashu ha-ikar ela ha-maisa. Learning about things is good. It's good to learn. It's good to learn. But doing things is a lot more than just learning about things. Can you imagine a person, they call on a plane, is there a doctor? Yes, stands up. What's the problem? They need CPR. And the doctor goes, I have learned that. And then goes back to sit. What? I am a doctor. I have learned CPR. I know how to do it. And then they go back to sit. What do you? Shkoyach, could you do it? It's very nice to learn about things. But practically live with these ideas. And it really baffled my mind how the moment that I learned the lesson, I then immediately put into the test, and I failed the test. Now, Baruch Hashem, I think I passed it. Overall, I'd give it an 89. Because I've never gotten that high. So I'd give myself an 89. I think I had 89. I don't want to put into the 90s, because I think, first of all, the 90s were great. But I'm talking about grades now. I don't want to say it's the 90s, but in the high 80s. Where was my failure? My failure was almost entirely internal. The fact that I said, I need my scheme, I don't think it was a problem. I think it's okay to say, listen, I agree, you should maybe move the thing. When I saw he's clearly giving me a bracha to have children, I should have said thank you and, moved on. And to go to the next one of what are you doing? It's like, you're the person who's eating treif on Shabbos, eating non-kosher Shabbos, and you didn't even make a bracha. Bro, seriously? Oh, thank you for that lesson. I will now be religious, It's like my favorite thing is just to go to Bar Ilan on Shabbos and to watch the people going, Give out! And throwing rocks at cars and whatever, Someone driving by, Shabbos! I'm waiting for the day that a guy's driving by and someone goes, Give out Shabbos! And the guy goes, are you serious? Oh my goodness. It's like in their car, they're like, thank you. I am now religious. What? Do you really think that's going to do anything? When the guy behaved how he behaved, he showed me who he is. He's a guy who's not interested. On the outside, he looks a certain way. That's why I said it's important. Maybe it's a relevant detail. On the outside, he looks a certain way. But okay, I was fooled. And my expectations were off because I would have expected a person like that, especially with someone who's not religious next to them, that they don't want to cause even more of a pirud, I don't know how to say it in English, of a separation, more of an issue. And they don't want to cause, they would like to keep some achdus. Silly me. I mean, I thought you actually cared about stuff, I saw that. And once I saw that, now I'm going to go and say, and the Gemara says. And then the guy's like, can you imagine? Azoi, mamish, gezogen gemor. Well, why didn't you say so? Now I won't be a jerk. Like, what do you mean? Like, it is what it is. So I thought it was an amazing concept, just to be aware of. How can I learn from this guy? So I have so many lessons here. The first one is the concept of maybe I should calm down. Like when somebody parks in a bad way, okay, they parked in a bad way. Does that frustrate me? Yes. Could I have had that spot? Sure. And by the way, this is like a daily. Somebody wrote on the bottom of the thing, obviously this guy's never been to Lakewood. Somebody wrote like on the bottom of the thing. And I was like, obviously this guy's never been to any Jewish community because this is just how you park. Like, what do you mean? Like, you double park, you triple park, you park on top of cars. I'll tell you something which really baffled me. The culture in Brooklyn, unbelievable. Somebody had me come teach there, naturally. And when I was going to teach there, I couldn't find parking. It's Brooklyn. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But now you should understand based off the words I'm saying. Right? It's very hard to find parking. So the minahelet of the place, the person says to me, where are you? What street? I said, I'm on 26th, the LZ and 45th West Side by the Twin Towers. Like, I don't know where I am. I have no clue. I have no clue where I am. Like, I don't know. Everyone from Brooklyn's like, it's simple. It's a grid. It's whatever. It's not that simple, okay? It's not that simple. It's incredibly complicated. I don't understand. Are you on the avenue or are you on the number? I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying. It is a grid, but it's not a grid. Anyway, Bedford. Why do you say, why? Why would you do that? It's like 23, 24, Bedford, keep it a number, fine. Oh, Hashem. So, where was I? I'm trying to park in Brooklyn. And she goes, what street are you on? I found the corner, and thank God it had both of them. So usually they steal the corners ones. But it says, oh, double park. I'm like, double park? What do you mean? She goes, it's double park. I'm like, no, for so many reasons. Like, I'm going to get a ticket. Are you paying for the ticket? You're not going to get a ticket. I said, what do you mean? She said, look, it's only 9. Only at 10 you'll get a ticket. I said, are you serious? She goes, yeah. And Brooklyn people, this is like a real thing. You're allowed to double park. You just have to leave a space for the person to get out or leave your number. I'm like, this is like normal. And to me, this is so not normal. But then it becomes a culture. Once that's okay, then you can just like triple park. Just triple park. And people do it. Literally leave their cars. And some of them, no, they're mamish good people. And they put on their hazard lights. And they open the trunk. Okay, the hazard lights are there. Because it's a hazard. You're in the middle of the road. Like the whole thing is that. It makes sense. So number one is the concept of you see people behave in a certain way. Okay, do I have to lose myself? Do I have to throw away the rest of my money because someone took 10 seconds of my life? Throw away the rest of my life? That's ridiculous. Why would I do that? But I do it. Why would I do that? Lesson 1. Lesson 2. Wow, how quick we can forget. Within 2 minutes, I totally forgot this lesson. I was so obsessed with it. I left Rav Ari a message. I love that message. It's such an amazing video. It's so powerful. I'm going to live like this. 1 second later, someone does it, and I get all upset. Number 3. Ezu chacham halomid mikol adam. We learned that in number 1. But number 3 is, hold on. How can I learn from this guy? A wise person learns from every person. What can I learn from this guy? What's the answer? What can I learn from him? What not to do. So then I called my brother because I just wanted to share my excitement with someone. And he answered and said, I have no time for you, and he hung up. No, he answered for a little. Anyway, I called him up and I'm telling this. Years ago, the story that I'm going to tell you now happened. I'm so not good at math. 25 years ago, somewhere in the world, my brother and I were together My brother's older than me. I wasn't married yet. He was married. We went to a shul together to speak to. And when we went to the shul, at the end of the shul, like, these guys were behaving in a way which were really not appropriate. Whatever that means to you. And if it means something really not okay, do tshuva. But like, whatever, doing inappropriate. It was not nice. So I said to my brother, I just learned the Mishnah. What do you learn from these people? And he says to me, sometimes you learn what not to do. Which is one of the reasons why it tricked me off. And I said, wow. I said to him today, I said, well, maybe I do what he does. Maybe I park my car in a way that's not okay. Maybe I put my stroller in the middle of the aisle. Okay, I realize after it's not true, I don't never do any of that stuff, but maybe I do in some other area. As a person once said, don't judge me because I sin differently than you. Did anyone get what I just said? Process that information. I look at you and I judge you because you're behaving a certain way. Could it be that I'm behaving in a way which isn't okay, that for you, you don't do that, that you're good in? Maybe I struggle in a certain area, you don't struggle in that area. You struggle in a certain area, I don't struggle in that area. Right? We have different things. So I'm going to judge you based off the fact that I don't put strollers in the middle. But am I inconsiderate in any other way? If the answer is yes, then maybe I have to work on that. As we all know, the world is your classroom. Oysters aren't kosher. The world is your classroom. Every experience we have, we're supposed to be taking something out of it. If you are OCD, delete what I just said. If you're OCD, it's like, what? There's a wind, there's a person, there's a thing. Learn. Okay. If you're not OCD, every experience that we go through, because you can only take like 1 out of 1,000. Our general experiences, we're meant to learn from them and try to see, what am I supposed to do? What do I take from this? Maybe I should learn from that to start doing that. Maybe I should learn from that to stop doing that. But at the end, it comes down to lo amad ela maisa. The concepts are important, but get down on your knees and start doing the CPR. It's very good to know something, but now let's start doing it. Okay, it's hard. It's hard. My brother was saying, I said to my brother, I said, I wonder if like there's like 2 different compartments in the brain. Like the one that's like, wow, that was an important message. And then the one's like, in practically speaking. So he said to me that the second half where you reacted, when I actually didn't, but in my mind I reacted, and in my just quoting the Gemara reacted, that wasn't another compartment of the brain. That's just straight up habit. That wasn't a deciding. That's what I do. And I responded like that. The only time this morning in that experience that it was like something was different was when I saw the video and it was different than normal. So therefore I had to actually stop and process. I was actively processing. But then when the experience happened, I went straight into autopilot. And I went right into, you frustrated me, I'm going to react based off what you just did. However, like we're saying, lo says, okay, now that I learned something, let me try to put that into practice. How can I put it into practice? Which is quite difficult. I will say, thank the good Lord, I'm very proud of the fact to say that it stopped there, because I could have gone more, could have escalated it and said more things and who knows what, and baited him to try to say something back and whatever it is, and been a New Yorker. I could have been me. But the reality is, I said, like, you know what, okay, it's not, it is what it is. I see where they are. I'm stopping. I'm not going to go forward. You want to say something? Or were you stretching your fingers before? No. So there's one like over there. I thought it like a finger stretch. Hey. All right. No finger stretch. Yeah.
I don't think that what you did, I think you got a 99.
First of all, thank you.
I don't, isn't there a concept that when you see something that's wrong, if maybe if you would have responded in a way that wasn't emotional, that was more like, I see this person, you try to like him, trying to see the positive. But considering the fact that, number one, it's in public, isn't there a concept of defending what's right? This is clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Isn't there a concept that you see something that's wrong?
Yeah. If you see something.
Yeah. Like that
Say
in
something.
public, it's that, like, Pinchas.
Yeah.
I mean.
You know this guy?
No.
Oh.
But there's many times in the Torah where you see something that's wrong and they stood up for what's right. I mean,
You look like a Pinchas, the guy.
really something that was wrong that should be, like, there's a woman there, Mesa Hashem.
Yeah.
And you defended what was wrong. And I think
Correct.
that was commendable.
Yeah.
I don't think I can maybe because you reacted with, like, it was more coming from a frustrated place, but if it was not coming from it was coming from a more measured place.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe it would have been, and I also believe that sometimes a person, even if they hear something and are defensive, but maybe a little bit later on they'll think about it and you could have an impact on them?
So well, the first thing I just want to share with you is that if anyone's come to my classes before, they'll notice that I just gave you so long to speak. And it's for one reason. You started off by giving me a 99. So once you give me 99, you can just keep going. Like just whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand? Okay, so that's here's the deal. Yeah. I know you give me 100. Stop it, Jade. Okay. So let's play this out for a second. The answer is yes. There is such a concept of ochech tochich esamisecha. There's the idea of chil Hashem. There is the idea of responsibility. There are things we have to be doing. I believe, and maybe I didn't communicate this well here now, but I believe that all that happened in the first moment when I said ani maskim. In other words, my saying ani maskim, I agree, was the tochacha in a way that I'm not saying what's wrong with you. No, it's like I'm like, and I literally did the the move. It's the move, like this move, I even doubled down with the words. I could have just done that, but then I went with ani maskim. When he kept going, then I saw I'm not talking to anyone. Now, maybe later he'll learn whatever it is, but I don't think once a person makes clear this is what happened. I'll play out the conversation. I said, bro, you're doing the wrong thing. And he said, I don't care about you or your mama. As soon as he said that with his Mitzvah Shambayu, I was like, what? First of all, we all know who hates the Mitzvah Shambayus. Everybody hates the Mitzvah Shambayus. But at least in the Shidduch world. But the point is like this, is that, yeah, I think there's what to be said. But I also think, like we know, the Gemara says, just like there's a time to say something, there's also a time not to say something. And I think that it was a time to say something, so I said it. But then I think after that, it wasn't. I shouldn't have continued. And again, nothing happened. There was no like. If you'd be watching it from the side and wouldn't hear anything, you'd just see this. That was the whole thing. Like nothing happened. I'm referencing more internally. It's not even about the other guy. I don't care about the other guy. I'm saying, of course I do. I love him, neshamas, but I don't care about him, right? I'm thinking more about myself, and I'm discussing like. For me, that was a fail, right? And I think it's an important thing, not the ani maskim, that was a pass. But once I saw the person is not interested or willing to hear anything, so then it's like, stop. They're not open to it. They're not willing to do it, and it's not going to get anywhere. I believe this woman also, she saw that I stood up for the concept, and she sees that what's going on over there. And then when he left, and we both went like, we did like, we had a moment, so. There's a type of thing that like you move on with life and then it's done. So that's it. It's funny because like it's a joke. What am I saying? Like there wasn't like there was a fist fight in the thing. But you know what? I believe that it's in the nuances. It's where it's at. That's where it's at. Where a person's understanding what's going on internally inside them. Why are they doing it? What's going on? And for me, besides that, it was also the point of just feeling frustrated. I think even the feeling of frustration for me, I feel is a loss. Say it. Well, thank you very much. The first time ever. Okay. What else do you want to say? Right. So keep it going. Okay. So you know what I feel as you're talking. I'm just feeling like I'm just reminiscing of my teachers writing in red letters things on my grades and fine. So anyway, the point is that we just removed all that trauma. It's an internal thing of even getting frustrated. So well, Gary, this is like the common response when I say such a thing like that. Even getting frustrated. It's okay to get frustrated. It's like one of the, it's okay. All the therapists in the room, it's okay. Right? It's okay. So I'd like to point out, that's a line that has to be said for certain people to hear. There are certain people that are not ready to not hear that line. They need that line to be said. And there are those that maybe can hear things a little bit more intensely. Everyone's on their own journey, whatever they're up to. I think I've shared this story recently in this room. In the room next door, because it's actually the same room. You see this like partition thing on that side of the room. Upstairs, I believe it was probably, if I had to guess, 2011 or 12. That makes sense, actually. I'm going to go with 11. It was in the 2000s. Anyway, so I gave a class called Anger Management. And one of the things after the class, this woman comes over to me and she's a psychotherapist. Sorry. Anyway, so she comes over to me and she says, I tell my clients it's okay to get angry. I said, well, okay. I used to rollerblade. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. You know, saying, yeah. She said, no, like what we were talking about, like I tell my clients it's okay to get angry. I said back, it's okay to get angry or it's understandable to get angry. Two separate things. Okay, maybe the answer is it is okay. Maybe under certain circumstances, maybe, which are few and far between. You want to go to Pinchas, right? Which is the guy from the train. I imagine what Pinchas would have done to this Pinchas. I would have davened for that Pinchas. But let's understand that the Rambam says a person shouldn't get angry, ella al ma shero'ui lichos alav, which is a funny sentence at face value. However, it's very rare that really we should be getting angry. Most of the time we're getting angry, it's actually not okay. It's understandable because we are born as animals and many stay animals. So then it's understandable. But it doesn't mean it's okay. Again, it's a growth thing. Everyone has to be like where they're at. For me, I think I was a loss just to get frustrated even. It's a test. Everything's a test. And the funniest part of this test is that Hashem gave me the handbook the second earlier. He's like, I'm about to test you, and this is a test, and just do this. I'm like, all right. And then the guys are like, come on, Pinchas. I'm like, oh, what did I just do? So that's why I would say, I'm willing to move into 91. I'm willing to move the grader. You know, when you come fighting with the teacher for extra point, I got this answer right. You took off -2. It should be only -1. And you're like, fine, 62. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. That was me. That was a good mark. It's usually like, fine, 31. You spelled your name right. You know, I'm like, SATs again? Okay. But the point is, I'm willing to move up to a 91. I don't know about a 99. I'm willing to move up to a 91 because I like the 90s. It was my era, whatever it is, what it is. But I'm not going to go to 99. And I think that there's something to be learning. So the point is what? This whole class is that. Hypotenuse. It's the hypotenuse. When we walk out of here today, this is what I'm trying to just totally educate you with. Is that the next circumstance that you have when you feel a rise. It's rising up when you feel like, rising up when you feel like, 90s. When you feel it's rising up, just immediately say hypotenuse. That's it, hypotenuse. Now some of you can't pronounce that, so just say hippo. Hippo, which is a short for hippopotamus. But anyway, point to say hippo, and just hippo that thing, hippo it. And it's also, there's laws of hippo, right? There's all different laws. There's laws of hippo, it's spelled differently. But the point is, there's also hypo, right? Hypo means low, hypoglycemic. Fine. All right, peeps, let's wrap this up. So we started in the beginning very simply, put the concept of what's considered a wise person, someone who learns for every single person. Right? Then we take a little further and understand the concept. What would happen if a person had $86,400, someone took $10? Would you say, well, I might as well throw the rest of it away? Someone takes 10 seconds of your day, and there's 86,400 seconds in the day. You're not going to go and just throw away your entire day, because in fact, someone wouldn't just sing. Some would, some wouldn't. Hypotenuse Park. Right? So, oh my God, can you believe this little trickster? I can't believe he's parking like that. And I was like, brilliant. I should behave like that. Walk on, Pinchas, you're not a Talmud Chacham, right? It's things like, ani matkim, or maskim. Ani maskim to this. They're like, zeraso, lo, zamutar. I said, well, what are you doing? Like, you're dressed like a thing. You're representing something over here. Why would you do this? A concept? Do you make a chil Hashem such a concept? Hallowed the Lord Almighty from the world being so ding there. So number one was the concept, wow, I should really have partners in my life. Unbelievable. Number two, how quick it goes the opposite way of direction. Oh, start doing something over here. CPR, peeps, you know it? That's great. Now do it. And then we had number three, who says, I learned what not to do. Do I behave like that also? Maybe I should stop behaving like that. Is there another area? Don't judge me because I sin differently than you. Maybe I'm doing it in another area of life. 99, thank you. 91, we've come to a pshara. And be like, in fact, triple parking in the middle street, put on your hazard, you're good to go. And ultimately, hippo. So we say over here is that today when we walk out of here, just say hippo. Be careful if the person hears you, it might not go so well, right? Like, hippo, say like that, not a good thing. But if you could do hypotenuse, 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 hypotenuse.